How overweight is he?
20%.
20%?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get started. Um,
Welcome back to
welcome back to episode 3,
the hardest part.
hardest part. Last week we dove into stuff about the past, and it was quite a long episode. I think it was like an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was. A long one.
Much longer than usual.
Yeah,
Is it on?
but it was good. This
You mind
week
checking?
it's gonna be a little bit shorter, but
It's easy for you to get out. I can't. It's for recording, right? What are you doing?
Just checking the time, making sure. I don't iPhone.
but yeah, so this week we're gonna continue a little bit on the past, but instead of kind of about us, we're gonna talk about mom and dad.
Okay.
Okay, so like just thoughts about mom and dad, and just like parenting style, as well as like how you felt like we were raised. Was it like good or was it bad? And just like overall thoughts on that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, what do I want to start?
Are we laughing?
Just thinking. Trying to see what.
Or as like you're thinking about that, just like updates, like what's been going on, like what's up. You went to spin class with mom. On
Oh,
the topic
right.
with mom and dad. I saw a picture. I sent
Yeah.
it to a friend that asked me like to go spin class. I was like, "There's no chance I'm going." But I sent the picture, and she was like, "Yo, what the heck? Your mom's so cute." Because mom was like, she looked like she was like trying to smile, but she was like dying.
We just started.
Yeah.
That looked like she just started, yeah. Because I was like, there's no way she's smiling like that.
Yeah.
Like, after a full, like, hour of that, there's no way you die. Like, I died. So there's everybody that
Spin
goes
class?
in
You
that.
did
Yeah,
spin?
I've done spin class before with Sharon. It was tough. One of the hardest because I think I don't have that technique and form down just yet. And then once I do and you get the actual, flow state of things, it would feel so fun. But I did it once, maybe. I think just once. I couldn't anymore.
Was this before you started biking or after you started biking?
When I began the journey of, like road
Road
biking,
biking. Oh, okay.
specifically, yeah.
So
Yeah,
you didn't have that stamina yet.
not yet.
Okay.
Not on Sharon's level, because she is on a different level, like a scary level.
It was so much fun.
How long was it?
50 minutes.
50 minutes.
Yeah, there's no breaks. It's just like
Straight up,
just
So like,
cycling.
uh,
But yeah, I was like, well, the whole beginning of it was just, she getting her shoes, and then um the initial part of it was just you have to clip in, and it's something different, right? It's like you don't typically wear your own shoes. They have a specific shoes that you have to wear for that bike, and I'm trying to help her to clip in, and then the instructor comes along and helps mom, and she tells her that it's her first time, and it was great because the instructor was really helpful and very kind. Like throughout, even halfway through the workout or class, she would come over and ask and give mom a thumbs up, like ask her if she's okay, right? And mom was doing really well. I was so surprised. Like she did not stop at once. Like
Continue.
she like there was one. I would say this is maybe one of the hardest classes that I've done, and I've done like this is my 8th class already. And the reason why is because she in one part of the class, she makes you ride out of the saddle, but like super fast with like the rhythm of the beat. Not like a slow like you're pacing when you're just riding off the saddle and you're just like standing up. This was like going like this, but like for 6 minutes straight. And like I was going hard and look over at mom. Mom not keeping up, but she's still going and going and going and going. And I'm like, yo, I was like smiling, like 'cause I was so happy that her mom's mentality is like she's determined, like she pushes through and then like she doesn't give up. And I've always seen that in her in yoga. And like I know you guys don't see that, but I've seen that so many times and I've seen that for so many years because we've done yoga for 3 years together. So it's like pretty cool. Do you see there's a fluff on his whisker? So yeah, it was really great. And then she thought she wasn't gonna sweat, and then by the end she was
What?
like, she wasn't drenched like me, but she was sweating. Mom doesn't sweat that much.
No, she doesn't.
Like, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
barely
crazy.
has any sweat
She
pores,
barely needs sweat. She barely sweats.
Well, she was sweating. Well, she sweat when I brought her to the gym.
But like that sweat is not like she's like drenched, you know, like
Yeah.
she.
So even when she was lifting, it wasn't like drenched like me.
Yeah.
Okay,
She
so
was sweating. Like,
Not like me though.
no. Definitely not like you. You look like you took a dip in the water.
Yeah. Especially with long hair.
But yeah, no, she did really, really great, and she has like 2 more free classes.
So you have 3 free classes in total?
Yeah. Well, I already finished mine, and I bought like 5 more, but like I'm done now.
It's in downtown?
One in downtown and one by, you know, the funeral,
Mm-hmm.
Mount Pleasant area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like right
What is it?
across.
What's the term?
Spin
Spin-
Society.
Oh, Spin
Oh, it's not
Society.
Spinco?
Oh,
No, Spin Society.
Oh, what about Spinco? Do they have free?
I don't know.
A lot of
You
them
would have to like
should,
maybe like a
yeah.
free trial, like one day or something like that. But this was a special offer.
Oh, okay.
But like, yeah, you don't have dudes teaching, so it's pretty great.
Yeah, I got a dude.
Raining?
Hailing. Yeah.
Did you hear yesterday it was hailing?
No.
Well, guys, one moment it was hailing, and like I was driving mom and I back, and she wanted to go to like Johan or something like that, and it was hailing so hard, and then we rolled down our windows and we put our hands out and just try to catch like the hail, and the people around like next to us in the road, like they started doing it. They rolled down the window and put their hands out together. Yeah.
Starting at
And then one guy like looked over at mom and he started smiling and started laughing. He's like, like that. It's so stupid.
Fucking weirdo.
It's really strong, so you don't need to put it in front of your mouth.
Oh.
Last
caught me-
week,
he
he
caught
was
me.
like,
Mouth breathing
yeah.
into the mic.
Oh, so I should put it over here then. Should I just hold it then?
No,
but you
because
keep
you're gonna
moving
move
it.
it. So just tag it on somewhere and leave it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that it's gonna rub my.
It won't rub. No.
It's fine.
We'll keep your hands. Yeah.
The last recording just started, and he was like, put it here. He's like, and then every time he talked, it's like it was so loud. But yeah, that was nice. I want to bring Dad to the gym.
Yeah, you brought Dad to the climbing gym, so
I
tell us about
haven't.
that. I thought that was.
That was not Dad. That was Ryan.
Oh, I didn't take a photo. I didn't see who it was. I thought it was Dad.
That was Ryan. Yeah, I want to bring Dad to the gym or something, but like our schedules don't align,
Yeah.
and I'd like to go to the gym like specific times. So, and then when I don't go to the gym, he's like available. But yeah,
His schedule is the worst
and then he doesn't know when he's working.
until Sunday.
Yeah, which is kind of frustrating sometimes. But yeah, what do you get up to? Well,
Nothing. I had another friend who opened up a gym, so I went to their grand opening yesterday and then had an early night. That's all. Nothing really.
so this week you've just been spending lots of time at
At the gym,
right?
at the gym, either assisting in coaching,
Nice.
but I haven't really trained myself because I have a small injury, letting it heal.
Oh my. Oh.
Are you gonna start getting paid?
No, I get to
Just free classes?
free classes for the jits, so I get like membership for both the Muay Thai and the Jiu Jitsu. So I'm gonna start taking jits.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
They should do both. So you get paid and you get free classes.
Yeah, once they start letting me teach my own classes, then they'll pretty much figure out a pay structure.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
So I wanted to add this. Yesterday, Mom, after spin class, on the ends of the studio, there's like antiseptic wipes.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Mom, go get it because her bike is right next to it, right? And I grabbed it and I gave it to her. The first thing she does is takes it, she wipes back her neck. I was like, no, that's for your bike. She said, oh, shit. It's so funny. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm like, no, that's why the bike came for, like, this, like, for your saddle. And she's like, oh my gosh, she was so embarrassed.
Oh man.
Because everyone came over and went to go grab that, right? The first thing she does, dude, everyone
She
saw
thought it was like a
her,
towel.
she wiped her neck with it.
Oh.
She's probably so dazed, but doesn't she feel it's like kind of wet?
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe she thought it was like wet wipes. Maybe it was like wipe her neck.
Yeah.
Just to
wipe
dry your
sweat.
neck.
I
Okay.
thought it was so funny.
Nice. Yeah, for me this week was just a shit ton of bouldering.
It's good.
I'm going outdoors tomorrow in Cyprus,
shit.
so it'll be my first time. We're gonna be doing some like really easy stuff, but first time outdoor bouldering. Hopefully I don't hurt myself, but
Knowing you, I feel like you will.
thanks.
I mean,
I'm more
hope you
safe
don't,
though. I'm more safe now.
but
I'm not as reckless as I was when I was younger. But yeah, my fingers are like peeling. Like it started bleeding because then so much skin was being peeled off of the fingertip
oh my god.
Just from grouping.
just from gripping something,
Yeah.
and it kept like scratching off, and it just like it started bleeding. I was like, yo, what the heck?
You're gonna
The lotion.
build up
Yeah.
calluses on it.
Lotion. Yeah. Just lotion. What happens when you lift, dude?
No, like literally the fingertips.
Oh, fingertips.
My fingertips.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like.
Yeah. Oh, but like yeah, the calluses. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But even then, you're gonna build it on your fingertips too.
yeah.
You see, like the world champion climbers. They're like, it's like they look kind of like frog hands. It's like their palm, and they have like little nubs here from just gripping and
Oh yeah.
the constant nubs. Like the world champion, like world record
Crazy
holders,
ass
or
grip strength.
their hands. Yeah, their grip strength is disgusting. Like they're lifting like two fingers like this, their whole body. I'm like, wow,
Yeah, I've been
Such
training
power.
2 fingers, but
such
it's
power.
tough. But yeah, yeah. Thoughts about mom and dad?
Like,
Just overall, like, how they were as parents, and then like maybe how you think about them now as like adults, I guess, because like they're not doing much parenting now, too much, because we're all like grown up. We have our own lives. We are doing whatever we're doing what we want to do, and like they're just we're living with them now, as opposed to like them
Under their
raising
care.
like them raising us and stuff like that. So yeah.
I guess in the beginning, Dad was away because he had to travel for work. I always understood that, so it was never like I resent you for leaving. It was like you're making money for us, you're taking care of us by leaving. So, of course I'll miss you, but like I never, definitely never took it as like a bad thing. Mom had to play the role of mom and dad many times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Had the authority figure, but also have to be like that nurturing and loving mom. So, seeing that is just like, I honestly had no issues with a lot of their, like,
Style of parenting.
style of parenting with the circumstances and the situation that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not like we grew up to became like criminals or delinquents.
And that didn't last long too, right? In terms of dad working abroad.
Exactly. So he understood like how the importance of being in our lives. So he did come back and maybe that has to do with just like the like the level of the business, or maybe personal reasons to just come back. But yeah, in terms of like a lot, they gave us the opportunity, a lot of opportunities, put us a lot in like extracurricular activities, sport, you know, in sports, in obvious like tutoring,
just a bunch of stuff.
and just a bunch of stuff. But it was never to a level of like, I guess there was levels of like Tiger Mom essences of it, but it wasn't like too crazy. You could relate with other people, but it wasn't like, you know, a hard ass. So you would never like grow up to like resent them. That's just my perspective. And then now, obviously, like you said, we're living with them, and you know, still to this day, they're like more relaxed about certain things, of course, but it
Of
was
course.
always like, it wasn't, like I said, like it wasn't like a hard, crazy Tiger Mom like level, but there was like little bits of it.
From my perspective, I did not remember dad working away from us.
Oh, okay, that's good.
I think there was one time where you guys mentioned dad came home and I was like, who the heck is this guy? Kind of like similar to you. Like when he came home, I don't know if he came home to visit and then you saw him, you're like, who's this guy? Or if he came home permanently, but I just remember, I never remember dad ever going away. I've always remembered him kind of around.
Because you were really little.
Yeah.
You were probably like 2 or 3 years old.
Mhm.
You were really, really young.
You're just happy to be there. You could have taken anybody as your dad.
Just living life. But I don't know, my perspective in terms of mom and dad putting us into so many extracurriculars, like the only things I really enjoyed were kind of just like the sport one, like the volleyball. Because I enjoyed volleyball a lot. But even then I only did it 1 year, 1 to 2 years. And I feel like if I went further in that, I would have been more developed in that sport. But the extracurriculars that I was kind of tossed into, like we didn't really have a say. For example,
Swimming,
swimming,
well,
Skating.
skating,
skating,
not much, but swimming for sure. Cadets,
cadets for you.
piano class,
Mhm.
um,
Piano.
Guten. I don't know.
going to temple, Chinese school. I'm okay with Chinese school. Chinese school was like, actually no, fuck. Chinese school was straight right off. Like I did not learn anything. I think I learned more at the temple, just speaking and just speaking to mom and dad.
Yeah.
But um, yeah, like I wish we had more say in what extracurriculars because I think they just did it as a group and just kind of bundled us. But at the same time, I feel like they kind of treated that as like a daycare for us. They didn't have um, the time to kind of really watch over us. And the reason why I felt that way is because in cadets, um, Chinese school or like other things, they would pick me up. I don't know if for you guys, if you guys were, I was doing a lot of extracurriculars. They would pick me up really late, sometimes up to 2 hours late, because they were going grocery shopping. So I felt that was like very
Inconsiderate.
inconsiderate, and I was very like upset. And I never brought it. I did bring it up to them, but they said they were like, "We're busy. We're buying groceries. We're like whatever and stuff. We're doing this stuff." But it's like, can't you just bring me along?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like, I think everything that they've done for us stems from their childhood, their background. So I believe that the generation before, like our parents' generation, they didn't have a lot of like moments of um, bonding with their parents. You know, a lot of it was suppression and like, you know, keeping your feelings leveled, or, you know, like you either talk to your siblings about it or you don't, and you keep it in and you like move on, you move on, you move forward. And if you feel sad, then deal with it yourself and move on, right? Even if you're at the age of 6, like deal with the emotions, move on. Because I still remember, like, you know, I went through a really hard time in elementary school, right? And I felt really bullied, and I felt really disconnected from this place. And then I tell mom, and the first thing that she would say is like, you know, get over it, move on, right? And that's like their way of like saying like, you know, there's a lot more tougher shit out there as you get older. But it's hard to tell a 6-year-old that or 7-year-old that, because they can't comprehend that. All they feel, and they know that it's like, I feel sad, I feel upset, or I feel mad. So that's why it's like, you know, a lot of our times when we're speaking about what we enjoy, what we want, and like they think at the same time it's just like, okay, you know, we are doing this for you, but in reality don't realize that what we want more is that you connect with us, you bond with us, instead of like, oh, this is what you do, this is what, you know, you should be getting to learn. And but what we wanted was a genuine, like, you know, let's do it together, not like
Throw
throwing
me
stuff at
into
us and
it.
then we do it, you know. And I think like it there are pros and cons to the way that like we were raised, for sure. We've built a lot of like independence, you know, for ourselves.
I think
And
independence in terms of emotions.
yes, but we like learn a lot of things along the way by ourselves as well,
Yeah.
right? A lot of, you know, trial and errors throughout our lives. But yeah, and you know, at times I don't really blame mom and dad the way that like they raised us, because of how they were raised. You know, if they were raised with parents that, you know, checked in on them, you know, or like, you know, once in a while, like, you know, came into their rooms or like did extracurricular activities together, then it would be really different the way we were, and we wouldn't be so separated, and like we wouldn't have this huge wall even to this day for the three of us, right? So
I also wish that they were more involved in the community, or like outgoing, or just had more friends here, or talk to their friends and stuff, because I was talking to my coworker. He was born and raised in China, and he was raised in that like China kind of tiger mom mentality, all that stuff. It's like very similar. But he has a kid now, and I was talking to him, and he was telling me um, how he knows like his kid wants attention, and he has to give his kid attention and everything, even before he had his child. Because he was talking to his wife, and he was like, yeah, like, are you sure you want to have a child? We don't have the time right now. Like, like, let's be smart about this. If we want to have a child, then we have to put in the time and effort after work and all this time. And it's not going to be like 1 2 years. It's going to be like many multiple, like, decade to 2 decades.
mm,
And then, and yeah, and then now they have a child. It's like 3 years old, and every time I see him at work, he's like dead asleep, like not dead asleep, but he's so tired because he wakes up super early, and then early afternoon he like goes picks up his kid, and then cooks dinner, and then like
that's the thing. It's like I feel like most parents back in the day, or not including the one that you spoke about, your friend, but like back in the day, having kids, like they thought about, okay, if I'm ready, they meant by like the practicality of it, which is like, oh, changing their diaper or feeding them,
Mm.
maybe playing with them once in a while, or giving them toys, but like not they didn't understand that there was the emotional part of it as well,
Yeah.
the emotional bonding of it as well, that they had to put just as equal amount of effort as like feeding them, changing them,
He.
giving them proper snaps and sleeps. I'm saying, like it's more than that, and that's how you build a good connection with your child.
He even said the food, the finance, the toys, the clothes, all that stuff. He was like, that's just a small portion. The
Yeah.
biggest portion is spending time with him, and that what drains him the most. Like he can make money, no problem. He can provide for the family, no problem. But it's just being there with the child, playing with him, and talking to him is what drains him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
See, it's almost like the job that I do. It's a lot of it's caretaking, right? With like their toileting and like changing them and like teaching them during snack time and like eating certain foods because they're very selective. So I work with autistic kids from like the range of like grade 1 to 7, which is like the ages of like 6 to 12, and like it's you can do, and it speaks volume to seeing, because there's not just me but a team of us of 5 or 6 I meant, and there are ones that you can see that which of the students bond closer with a certain teacher, and
so they're the
you
more
know that
mom-like ones.
yeah, and their mom ones are more like mom ones, they're just caretaking and they just nurture and they do all these things, but like the student doesn't reach for her when she's playing or when he's playing, right? Um, there are, and then there are ones that like not only caretake, but like you can see the during sensory play or like playtime that the student goes over and reach for the selective teacher, because they know that they have that bond where they can play and have fun and like not just be instructive with like what they're doing in these demands. So it's like really important that not just you have this foundation of what they need to do for their basics and the practicality of it, of like living, but also like build that like emotional connection because it's so important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do, but the one thing I do really appreciate from mom and dad um, is making us follow through with things. Majority of the things that we did, um, to just like continue despite how you feel. I think that is really important in life.
The perseverance, yeah.
Yeah, and that isn't really, you can't really teach that. That's from experience and knowing how that feels and just continuously push through it. So I was at the Oval and I was talking to one of the kids' moms. The kid's like 10 years old and he's a really good climber. He originally was like, "Oh, I want to start climbing because I think it's fun." And this mom, she's a national gymnastics coach in China when she was younger. So you know how like hard they can go.
Intense, yeah.
And she was telling me about like how Japanese, Chinese, like all those majority like Asian countries and cultures, they start them young, and then when you see them perform, their technique, everything is so crisp and so nice. It's like elegant. And she was like, that doesn't come from like your feelings. That comes from like
Repetition.
repetition
Consistency.
and pain and like continuous like failure and stuff and resilience. So she was saying like, I don't care if I'm a tiger mom. My son said he wants to do this, and I gave him two options. It's either you don't do this or you do
Become
this
the best.
and you become the best and you do this seriously, right? And you can have fun along the way, but when it's time to train and go, you better go. So he's practicing for a competition coming up on the weekend, first week of April, I think, or second week of April. And it's like a kids tournament or whatever, right? And they were training and they were doing some like drills, and then I could see the frustration in this kid's face. He was like super frustrated, and usually when I see him, he's super playful, like hi, whatever, wants to talk to me and stuff. But when I saw him, he was like in the zone, and I was like, oh damn, like he's in the zone. I didn't know he was training like seriously. And then I was talking to his mom, and his mom was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, like blah blah blah, this and that." And then, but after when he was done training, he was like super like joyful and like playful, or whatever. But
Because he knows that time of play is
yeah, and then when he's training, he's training.
training is training. So
Yeah.
you gotta.
It takes a lot for at a young age like that for a kid to be able to have that switch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of times like younger kids can easily be annoyed and they're not ready. Like, you know, like a lot of the times it's like we love these things, we want to try these things, but like it's being able to be ready to understand like will this passion become a chore? You know, like that they're no longer passionate about it. It becomes dreadful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's why a lot of people like even with jobs like why don't you go for your passion? It's like, because I don't want it to become a a chore to me or something that I like resent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like for a kid that young to like be able to have that switch is really a good ability, a good skill to have. Yeah.
And the nice thing about it is his mom is present. She was there. She's there to drill his ass, but also reassure him like
doing it right.
know that this is like
The right choice.
this is the right choice. Like
And then you can
you
do
you
this.
have your end goal. Like this is your end goal, and you're on the right track. Like keep going. She's always there recording him, showing him, and then talking to the coach, and like she's very present in the whole process.
Yeah.
And that is also one thing I feel like some tiger moms aren't there. Like they want these things and outcomes, but they're not there for the journey or like part of the journey.
The moral support.
But that's the thing. It's the emotional support. You
Yeah.
can't just be throwing stuff, the practicality of things, and then not add the emotional support in it as well.
Yeah.
Right? Like you go. People who have this support go further. Right?
Yeah, I'm
They
sure a
go
lot of
way more
prodigy
further.
childs, if they have, just money thrown at them, then they'll just really come out as like a robot for the sport. But if you have more support from your family,
Exactly, and then like
parenting, along with like world-class coaching,
it's just for example for our things, right? A lot of it was just throwing money, go do this, go do that, go this, go do that, right? But did any of the things kind of like
Stick.
stuck to us or were like we really loved?
No,
It has
you-
continued
if-
on for many years.
if anything, you kind of shied away from it because you were thrown into it so abruptly, and
And like you kind of resented
you
it.
kind of resented it. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like
I hate swimming.
Dustin hates swimming. He basically went into like. You asked him anytime to go swim, he's like, no. I'm like, why? He's like, I hate it. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. Dude, waking up every morning to go early to swim class, it was horrible. I was forced to do that. Like,
So even like Dai, which is like mom's older sister, like his son, Dai,
Mhm.
he did swimming competitions. He's so happy he's not doing it anymore.
yeah.
Right?
At one point, I feel like Brianna's just gonna like hate it completely. Well, she probably does.
She
because-
stopped already.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like you introduce something that like almost kind of like shocks them, and it like it leaves such a bad taste in their mouth. You burn them out of the sport, and they never want to do it again. But like for your climbing kid friend, he has like that vision when he was a lot younger, and it's really that is the most hardest thing to do. Now he's just given the opportunity to do it, so he has to be consistent. And he has to have his almost like, when people say like 10,000 hours, for him it's like 10,000 plus days.
Yeah. I think Brianna would have enjoyed swimming more if she didn't have so many choices.
So Brianna,
Oh, right.
Brianna is like our dad's youngest sister's daughter.
So our cousin.
Our cousins,
Yeah.
real cousins.
She enjoyed swimming a lot. Like when I saw her doing swimming, and when she came over from Brunei with Ethan and Luku and stuff, they were looking for a coach, and I found them a coach. And when she was doing training and stuff, I would be at the pool because I was teaching swimming as well, and I was lifeguarding. And when I saw her, she was so happy to jump into the water. Myself, I hate jumping in the water because that just initial shock of like, oh my god, it's so cold, and then you have to like do some laps, warm up, and then all that stuff. It's like I don't like the thought of just jumping into cold water. I hate cold water, but anyways, she really liked swimming. She enjoyed it so much, but now she's like doing so many other things that she kind of forgot what swimming was to her, and she just kind of like let that drift off. Like it's kind of like she had too much dopamine from like other things, and then she forgot about this, and then yeah. But I definitely think if she continued swimming and only swimming and didn't touch anything else, she would still be swimming, and she would be like ridiculously good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's like growing up, how most Asian parents are. Depends on like the style, depends on like the minor details of like being there, not being there, how hard they push you, and
Almost the same cookie cutter extracurricular. You either got to pick up an instrument, you had to learn how to swim.
yeah.
Well, it's also what the community offered, but it was always so like
Swimming, I
it
don't
was
regret,
always
though.
it was extra language, which generally would be just Chinese, either
Your mother
Cantonese or
tongue,
Mandarin,
whatever.
right? So you don't lose it in a Western country. An instrument, typically piano, right? If you got better or picked it up easier, they would then push another instrument down your throat, or
Violin.
and the extra, like, swimming, basically, swimming or skating or just sporting.
How did you never get into piano? How did you never get?
Yeah, I don't know how you did not do it.
I tried it once.
Oh, and you're like,
and
I
was just
hate it.
like, no, this will not work at all whatsoever. And I was like, and
Like-
they just, at that point, I think they were just like, knew that my,
They got you into karate instead or something?
yeah, they got me.
But that was only a little bit, right?
That was only for a little bit, yeah. And then
Oh,
I didn't continue. I wish I did, but yeah.
I think the reason I got into piano was similar to what I talked about last week about me being competitive
Competitive?
and wanting to do it with you. Because I thought it was so cool. I was like, you were playing music. I was like, yo, that looks so cool. I want to do it.
That's funny.
And then I was like, I want to be better, but I was never better. And I was like, yo, fuck this. I gave up. Yeah. And then that's why our teacher, Christina, she kept skipping levels for me. I did level 1, I just jumped to level 5, and then went to level 8.
Yeah.
And then, but that was too tough. I did not. And then also I didn't practice enough. Every time mom would make me like practice, she would put a timer, right? It's like, oh, 30 minutes of practicing, 60 minutes of practicing. Little did she know, I would go to the timer and like shorten the time. I did.
No, you did
I did. I would go to it was like the oven timer, and then it's
Smart ass.
I would, whenever she wasn't around, I would like be playing for like maybe 5-10 minutes. I would go there after a song. I would like click it a couple times and then cut down like 5 minutes, and then play another song. Go back, cut another like 7 minutes. Go back, play. I only play like a couple songs. Maybe I'm like total. I practiced for like 10 to 15 minutes when she puts like 30 to 45 minutes. Sometimes I cut a lot of time. She doesn't even notice.
Yeah, you smart ass.
Lots of tricks.
Those moments where like swimming and after completing a level and then immediately getting assigned into another one, or like piano, those like many practices and like classes where like a lot of tears were shed. But like overall in the end, I don't regret learning swimming because like a lot of my friends don't know how to swim, which is really sad. And like piano, like there are very small moments throughout the years that I after even just not continuing after, but like just going there and playing sometimes it's almost it's kind of crazy how it used to be like a lot of tears shedding and then becoming therapeutic for me when I go and play now, which is like really ironic.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts about them as like adults now? Like how they carry themselves now that they're not parenting as much. They're just existing as adults to us. Still a parent, of course.
I think I see a lot of like as you get older. I think like with the younger generation, for the young kids, they may see like, oh yeah, your father, mother figure as just a parent, and they just parent over you, and like they tell you what to do. But as you get older, you start seeing them as like who they really are, what their true colors are,
Yeah.
their personalities, right? We learn that like a lot of our stubbornness comes from who their stubborn it's from them. They are heavily like strong-headed, like they want to like are stuck to that way, or like maybe that's mom, but like dad can be very indecisive. Like I can see that, and like mom also has indecisiveness as well. But like it's just funny, and then as you get older, your parents become like a friend to you. Dad's like childish side comes out. When we're little, we don't really acknowledge it as much. But when we're older, like dad will throw some comments or say some things or
Some cheeky ass stupid
yeah, or
comment.
say
A bunch of dad jokes.
yeah, or like make some weird noises or something like that at the pets and stuff. And like we may not like notice them sometimes, but like when I have my friends around or they'll like look at dad like, oh, what is so weird, so odd. So like I realize that our parents can be fun. It's just sometimes we're so used to seeing them in that other light because of how we were raised,
Yeah.
right? But definitely they've like let things go and like they've lightened some things up, and dad isn't so like headstrong, and you can see he's kind of relaxed a little over like the years.
Mm-hmm.
I would say compared to before.
Yeah, he's definitely relaxed. I asked him, and he was like, because he was like, I don't need to be serious and raise you guys too much anymore. Like, you guys are adults now. You guys can think for yourselves. So I'm just here to just enjoy my life now.
I
And
think he's definitely a lot more. I would say he's definitely a lot more reasonable than mom. Like I think mom really holds on to things still,
yes.
but dad like he's just chilling and he's just like whatever. And there are times where dad literally tells mom like, just relax, just chill. Like this is something so small you don't have to hold on to.
Like, I think dad understands the fact that we're adults now and we can make our own decisions. And he's
Mom still wants to kind of
hold
the
our
authority,
hands and like,
hold the authority, and yes, like you said, hold hand,
yeah,
and guide us into something.
exactly. She
it's
still
just a natural thing.
yeah, she still sees, she's
Us
still
babies.
like in mother mode. Like, she still like wants to take care of us and everything, and she still sees us as babies.
Yeah.
As even though like we're adults, we're a lot older now, and like we can do our own things. And I think if once we like leave or like move out or whatever, she's gonna have a really hard time adjusting to kind of like,
I think when I move out,
The empty nest is
I
a
think when I
huge,
yeah.
huge
she's
thing
gonna have a
for
hard time.
yeah.
Because when I went to Toronto, mom would always ask me or like text me or call me from time to time, and she would always ask me like, "Do you have enough money? Like, are you okay? Like, you're eating or this and that, this and that." I'm like, "No, yeah, I'm completely fine." And then I feel like she didn't want to hear that. Like, I'm completely fine. Like, I'm okay. Like, I'm enjoying it here. Blah blah blah. And she wants to like give me something, and she'd always be like, do you need me to send you money? Like, blah blah blah, or like whatever. Like, or if you need help, like go reach out to like your cousins and like
Yeah, because you were gone for 6 months and you were actually away. When I moved out, it was like I still came back every well
once in a while.
once a week, so they would see me.
Yeah.
Mom told me this. She was just like, you know, seeing the journey of our lives, she says that it has not been easy for her. She was saying that like there's always been something that happened drastically to one of us in our lives. That's why I think she has this a lot of like stress on her and like worry. Like, oh, is this enough? Is this enough? Are they having enough, or are they okay? And like, with your situation at school, and then with you at Winners, and then like, I have my own as
Yeah.
well, like the previous relationships and stuff like that. So like, she's seen this. She's like,
Oh yeah.
she sees all these things. Like, she remembers all these things. Mom actually has a pretty good memory when it comes to
Trauma.
the past. No trouble, but like just the
Trauma.
past.
Trauma.
Trauma.
I think everyone has a really good memory for trauma.
No,
They just
but
don't
like,
like to go
no,
into
but
it.
like I told mom about like this certain person, right? And then like they've been in my life like it was 5 years ago, and then I said something, and then mom adds in something, and she adds in another thing, and it's from 5 years ago,
Yeah.
right? So mom remembers people and like moments of the past, not just trauma. But sadly, yes, not everybody remembers their trauma, but that's why I think she has this worry and stress because maybe dad doesn't know all of it, or dad just takes certain moments of it
Yeah.
to consideration. But
We'll wrap this up really quickly. Just one last thing. What's one thing you kind of wish they did, or you would like them to start doing?
I think for me, so it's what I said in the beginning was like the emotional connection, right? And like,
Like just spending time with us more.
yeah, and like just asking how our days are, and like just I think they're starting to do that,
Yeah.
right? Which is I'm starting to appreciate. And then like the other time, I wanted to share share with mom like something I forgot to remember. And then the moment I got to her, she immediately like asked me to help her with her work stuff. And then I got upset in my head because I was like, I don't often share about my life. And even in the past, I rarely did. I rarely had the opportunity to. So now when I'm reaching out, and then you like kind of block it off by like, I have work stuff, like I need your help. It's always like, I need your help, I need your help. But like, when are you ever going to give me the chance to like, hear me out, right? Because I always hear you out. So I was kind of upset, and then was helping her and everything. And then I just like, I was like, screw this. Like, I tried. I'm just going to walk away and do my own stuff. But like, what surprised me was like, dad was busy talking to me. And then I got upset because mom didn't reach out, and then she didn't follow up, or no, it's not follow up. She didn't like listen to what I had to share. And then after dad like conversed with me, and then we kind of had some type of like back and forth. Mom came up to me later, and she was just like, "What did you want to show me?" Like, she still remembered. So what did you want to show me? Like, show me the drawing from drawing class. She was like, "You want to show me your drawing class, like the drawings and stuff like that?" And I was like, I had that like holy like that like moment. I'm like, damn, like they are trying now. They're really trying. They're even though they're occupied with work, but like I felt that moment. I'm like, okay, well, I'm connecting with her now.
Yeah. For me, I'm always thinking about how hard they're working, and I really want them to start kind of taking a break from everything and just kind of not worry too much about finances, because that was always a big thing growing up. So I've been like kind of giving them suggestions on um, what they should do in terms of their finances. Of course, like I'm no financial advisor, but I have dug quite deep into things, asked a lot of people, talked to a lot of people, and picked a lot of people's brains. Um, and um, I kind of would like them to kind of start listening to us a little bit more in terms of our suggestions, um, as like as opposed to like just like listening to it and just like rubbing it off and be like, oh, whatever.
Mm.
Because I understand we don't have that much life experience, but we're in a different kind of age,
Yeah.
and we are, I would say, are better at adapting to what's going on right now,
The changes.
the
Yeah.
changes going on right now. And in terms of life experience for changes and stuff like that, we have a really good grasp on that. They're very stuck in their old ways. And yeah, I just want them to like kind of listen to us, try these things, and just put in effort into like making those minor tweaks or just listening to us a little bit more to kind of help their life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goes back to like the microwave thing, right?
The
Oh,
microwave
yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Because we were doing it and I was like, one, my that's not my profession. I can do it. I don't have the right tools. I don't have the stuff. Like we're not ready for this, but we still showed up. We're wreaking havoc in the guys'
Kitchen.
kitchen, and then it's like late at night. Not late at night, but it's like 9 o'clock, and then it's just like stars are not aligning. Nothing's like everything is like nothing's working out, and I'm like, yo, if you just call a person, a technician or someone to do it, they'll do it in like less than 30 minutes. You get out of the guy's hair. There's no issues with installing the thing. The thing's going to be insured, no issue. Like that's the guy's profession. He's not going to fuck up.
I think that's like one of the main major things. It's like, it's the efficiency or the money, right? And they're always in their heads of like always want to
Saving
save,
money.
save. But like in our heads, they're like, which is more like efficient, right? Is like, are you willing to waste your
Entire
money or
afternoon.
save your time,
Yeah.
or waste your time? It's that phrase, time is money, right?
You can
Just
make,
as valuable as money.
but
Right, but for them, it's just like they can't see that star doesn't align. They don't see that.
and I've told Dad before, like time is money. I understand that. He always says that, but I told him like money you can make, time you can't make. Once you spend your time, it's gone.
Yeah.
You spend your money, you make your money back. Especially with this time and how we're all working, we can make our money back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for me to end off this episode, pretty much, they need to just relax more. Dad needs to trust the process when it's done, not be so indecisive. And when like things are pretty much 90% done, he goes and flips the script. And then mom needs to relax more in terms of spending less time in this at work, and even if it's just resting.
And low key thing that she like shopped for like retail therapy.
yeah,
You
she
see
needs
it.
she needs to stop doing that.
You see
It
it.
like
Well,
it
I see
stresses Dad out.
Yeah.
Like, I get it before she didn't have the chance to buy all these things that she wanted, but now she's like buying things and buying things, and it's like we already have it, or she already has it stored away,
Yeah.
and she buys more and more. For example, like, just as simple as like the beans, right? Like the breakfast beans.
Breakfast beans.
And every time I go to Freshco after like yoga, she's like, "Oh, I gotta buy these." I'm like, "No, we already have so many in the
It's
that,
on
like."
sale. It's on
She's like,
sale.
"No, no." She's like, "No, it's the pork one. It's the pork and tomato. It's not just tomato." I'm like, "No, we have it for sure."
We have
The
it.
moment we come back, I go up. There's 2 more cans in there upstairs.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then Costco. She went to Costco. I feel like every Asian mom's favorite place or Asian household is Costco. You get things bulk, you get cheap.
TNT.
And I'm like, fuck. Like, mom bought these little jars, like these cups, metal containers that you can put like yogurt or you put like
Oh, so, yeah.
upstairs. She still hasn't opened it.
It's still new.
It's still brand new. So that's the thing. Dad doesn't like to use brand new stuff, but mom loves to buy new stuff, and dad never likes to throw away old things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's like it's just a
collection.
bunch of new things, but then it's like never used or it's used, but
Bunch
then
of
all
old
the old
things.
things. And then the old stuff, I like grabbed a container out and I was like, "What about this one? Can you not use this one?" She's like, "It's plastic." I'm like, "Okay." I tossed it out immediately. I reached in, a metal container. I was like, "What about this one?" She's like, "不要烦我." Like, don't mess with me. Like, leave me alone. I was like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I understand. I definitely get that. But hopefully, like I'm more active in terms of like reinforcing a lot of things. If you haven't seen me, like, Dad's got a little pissed at me the other time. He's like, "Stop talking to me like this. Like, it's not me." And stuff. So it's like, you guys, you know what you did. You probably don't know what you do.
Yeah, I probably don't know what I do.
What are you talking about?
Recycling,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
just leaving your shit around the house sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yes.
I don't do it often.
And then
Recycling is a thing that I try to do. I just do it, but I don't go and like get, you know.
no, I mean
I don't
like
yell at people.
leaving like it's just. But yeah, whatever. But I'm trying to like enforce a lot of things, and then Dad's getting a little choked at me because like he's always like in the area when I'm like when I notice these things.
So he sees it a lot.
And the reason why I'm putting so much pressure on him is because this is his house.
Yeah.
He should be manning this house
Yeah.
as the man of the house. So, mom on the other hand, I say anything, she listens to me, and she's like, you know that meme where it's like
Yeah.
that guy who's like peace and he like disappears.
Yeah.
That's literally mom.
Mom.
I
She's
talk
Homer Simpsons when she goes in the bush.
I talk, and then she's there 1 second. I turn around, turn back, and she's gone. She straight up does not listen to me. Anytime I say anything about like correcting things or
I
whatever,
remember you were
she just
saying-
walks away.
I remember you were saying that, like, one thing to get her to listen to you is if you ask her what you just said.
Yeah, I did that in the car, and I was so frustrated. And then she was like, "Oh yeah, you're talking about this, this, this." She was so confident. She was like, "Oh yeah, you're talking about this, this, this." I was like, "No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this. The reason why I brought that up is because of this. Now put your phone away and listen to me." And then for the whole car ride, she actually she saw how frustrated I was. She like put her phone down, and then she listened to me talk. And even when I wasn't talking, she would just sit and just look straight when I was driving. She wouldn't look at her phone anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, ugh. It's like things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Let's end it off on that. Thank you. Next week we are going to dive into some other things, but yeah. Hopefully you guys are more free next week, and then we can talk about some other stuff. But yeah, thank you again.
All right.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Dude, tell me about your freaking. You smell like salty fucking saliva. Like you need to like wash your fucking thumb or something, or wash
Him?
your like yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Well,